Yes guys, I'm back with another one, and today we're going to have a little look at BTC. We're going to have a little look at a few altcoins, see what's going in the altcoins. We'll have a little scan of BTC dominance. Last week I don't think I did a video, which, you know, I had a bit of a busy week, but you know, it's one of them things. I will be looking at what I said the previous week about BTC and where it could potentially be going, and I'll have a little look this week with BTC to see where it's going to go as well. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So I'm on BTC right now. I've got my weekly point of controls on. So last week, not the week just gone, but the previous week's point of control was here at 104.6, round up to 680, about 680, 104.680. And what I said is if we can hold that on that Monday, we had the previous week's value area low here. I said if we can get back inside that, which we did with a very big candle, you know, the odds of it coming up to around 110-ish are very highly likely. You know, which are, you know, it's still on the cards, that sort of move. We did that. We sat inside this little zone here that I had marked out. We rejected it, 1, 2, 3. A big rejection, but that candle, this is on the 4 hour. That candle there never really closed below that point of control. It came back into the point of control, which I said in the group, I said to people in the group, if we can get back in here, then yeah, you know, that's a lovely 5% move for the week. You know, you're not even making that in stock market and things like that. So just remember that that move there, actually, you know, you made more than people in stock market in one move. I give a TP out. I said the TP were going to be the previous week's value area high. And within Monday, we hit it Wednesday. So you held that trade for 2 days. Easy trade. In and out. And then you don't have to trade for the rest of the week. Monday to Wednesday, you're done then. You let trade play out, you're laughing. Easy as that. So this week, what I'm going to do is, these point of controls now, when I find them, I've unlocked them now. So what I'll do now is, this is last week's volume profile. So now what I'll do is, that's now my value area low from last week. That's now my point of control from last week. And this here is my value area high from last week. So I've got these zones now. 1 second, I moved the wrong one. What a sausage. So that's last week's value area low. That's last week's value area high. When I can line it up properly. There we go. There we go. Now, they're my new points of interest. We are above this zone here, what I've had marked out. So the high probability setup is to get up to this zone here. That's the high probability setup. In my eyes, that's what I'm looking at. Obviously, news dependent. If Trump wants to pipe up, you know, all could change. We start to fall back below here and a retest, then this is the zone that we're going to come back to, which is around 105k. We lose that, then yeah, we've got some more zones a little bit lower. So, as of now, we're still bullish, like I've said, not last week, week before, we're still bullish. There's no need to worry, we are still bullish. But, this won't continue forever. We are going to have some sort of pullback at some point. These moves, let me just close them for 1 second. These sort of moves, if we have a little look, if you look at the drop, it had a gap. It's filled all the gap. It's filled most of that gap. These markets like to be efficient. And after that move, which is a... what sort of move is this? You know, look at line BTC. That there is a 50% move in what? April to June. 3 months. 3 months, you've made 50% there. Nice and easy. In and out. Bang. I've held it for 3 months. Do I want to continue to hold it? Because all the sausages are saying 120. I don't know. I really don't know. I like to do the opposite of what everybody else is doing. And generally it works. You know, when everybody's on Twitter and they're like, oh, it's going to this, blah, 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 blah. It generally does opposite, and then everybody's sat holding a bag of dicks. So, yeah, just keep an eye on these zones. Previous week, this is why I like to use the higher time frame, just for the simple fact, you're going to get more data from the higher time frame. So if we go into that daily, and we have a little look at this daily. Look here. That zone there is a clear area of support. That was a clear area of resistance. Clear area of resistance. Support. Are we going to turn this into a support now? You know, it's highly likely. And then we push off to these areas here. Having a little look. The only thing that worries me is the volume again. The volume was dropping. We had a big volume candle there and the volume started to drop. Big volume candle there, volume started to drop. So, you know, a lot of these YouTubers and these sausages, they're not showing you that. They're not going to show you that. Oh, the volume, they don't care. They're just trying to pass these bags on to you. So they can get out, and then you're sat holding it while it dips down to about 84k. And then you're like, shit, what am I going to do? And then you end up selling, and then it gets bought back up. So, you know, my goal is accumulate BTC over the next 10 years. I want to leave it for my kids. Make sure my kids have got a good start in life. That's as simple as it is. That's why I'm accumulating BTC. So these are the areas this week that we're going to be looking at. If we can get back up above, it's probably going to be a move that's just going to, you know, rocket. So you're not really going to have much chance to get in. If it dips, then that's what we could potentially be seeing. Because the selling pressure, as you can see, is a lot weaker than the buying pressure. But the volume is worrying me. That's all that's worrying me at the minute. Let's have a look at dominance. We might as well while we're here. BTC dominance. Literally at the minute following the path that I've had marked out. Next area of interest is up here. They're all going to be saying on these YouTube channels, oh, BTC dominance is rejecting, blah, 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 blah. Is it? Is it rejecting? Just looking at it at the minute, on the 4 hour, potentially, but to me that just looks like it's going sideways now. That you'll hear all this crap that they come out with, oh, that's a shoulder, that's a head, and then we're going to get a shoulder, and then we're going to do that. Shut up. Sick of hearing your crap. So dominance, my target is still there. This zone here. That's my target. You know, I'm trading probabilities. You know, I ain't got a magic ball, crystal ball, whatever you want to call it. But, you know, they're going to be putting a trend line in like this. And there's one YouTube channel that literally shills it all the time. And they, you know, this is why I absolutely hate trend lines. So that's what they've put on. And they said, oh, it's rejecting, it's going to retest, and then it's going to do this, and it's going to absolutely shit its pants. And it didn't. So, yeah. You know, I'm not slagging trend lines off. If you want to use trend lines, use trend lines. I'm not saying you can't. But don't use them as an actual entry into coins. Because most of the time, you're probably going to get wrecked. You know, try use data. It's the best thing out there. The data is there for you, to help you in trading. Use the data. USDT dominance. Just in a zone now. Just chopping up, down, up, down, up, down. No clear direction. They'll tell you different. There's no clear direction there. Weekly. On the weekly, they'll tell you it's an head and shoulder pattern. The only head and shoulders I know is the shampoo. Okay? Stop listening to the crap. Because they're all full of crap. You know, they probably said same here. It's a shoulder, it's an head. It's a shoulder, it's going to reject. Yo, it didn't, did it? It didn't reject. Oh, God. I'm wrong again. Sausage. ETH. You shit coin in market a minute. ETH just, honestly, like, I don't even know what to say about ETH. And I'm not even going to look at it. It's a pile of crap. So I predicted on Sol. Let's have a little look what we did. You know, and this got pointed out here. And it came all the way down. Yeah, my line's a little bit further across. But it did exactly what I thought it was going to do. Did exactly what I thought it was going to do. Came down. Came back up. You know, I'm going to mark I'm not marking them out now, but I'll mark these levels out at some point. If we have a little look, I should close them paths off a minute. If you just have a little look here, where I said it, where we were going to come back down to, we came back down to A lot of people longed it here and it dropped 13%. There's no need to long it there. It were playing a game. Look how it rejected the point of control, held, rejected, fell below the previous week's value area low, tagged the value area low, and you still would have got an 11% move just from that alone. Let me sort this out. Sunday. Let me have a little look. No, that's going a bit too far. That's fine, that can go into there. Put that into there. So that was the week before, point of control. This week, well, last week's Sunday. So then all I'll do now is just get hold of this. You know, on the lower time frames, the points controls are going to be slightly different, but you know, that's just the way it goes. And now what we are doing, we are above last week's point of control. We're above it now. So it wouldn't surprise me if Sol does something like that this week. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Or we reject below, fire through that, tag that, and come and tag this zone again. You know, it's pretty simple. Without 60 million indicators on your chart that's just confusing the shit out you. What else have we got here? Let's have a look at this shit coin. So that was, let me have a little look. Sunday. So a little look here. Value area high. Let's open up that. Unlock that. Let's move that a minute. Honestly, these lines. You know, I'm not just going into trades and thinking, well, oh, it must do that or it must do this. You know, I've actually got levels that I'm marking out. So that was the week before. We fell below, came back in, tagged the value area low again, and then fired off with a 5% move. So this week's, well, last week's point of control is pretty similar. Oh, we need that one. Where the fuck is it? So we've got this zone here, and we've got that value area high there. At the minute, we're caught in between both zones. There's no clear direction at the minute. I'd love to see something like, and we get up above it and a retest, and then we can go again. Or we reject, hit, and then come and tag that zone there. You know, these are not off the cards. These are zones of interest. So what I'll also do is, let me close that out. What I'll do now is, I'll go down to the smaller time frame. So if I just, where's that fixed range? Minimize that. So I'll drop down to the hour and have a little look at the hourly. Because what I'm doing now is, I'm going to mark out the session that we're going to be in, which is 8 o'clock. So this is just a developing pot now. You know, this now is a developing pot. We're above the value area high at the minute on this session from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. So we've had a dip down into here, back into the point of control, and a move up into there. So yeah, most coins are bullish. You know, you can see that yourself. And that's why they're moving the way they're moving. For our, still above it. Now I'll watch this candle. This is the candle that I want to watch. And it will close at 1 o'clock. I will watch that now. You know, if you comment below, I'll look at some coins for you. Everybody's on this other channel. I'm not even going to plug the channel because they're all full of crap. They're all on that other channel, begging him to do, oh, please do this, please do that. Have a look at this coin, have a look at that coin. And he's full of crap. He's actually full of shit. They're all full of shit on that channel. Just in the comments, tell me what you want to look at. I'll have a little look at it. I don't mind doing it. All they're doing is, they're just shilling the shit to you. And then you buy them, and then your portfolio's 90% down. Because you don't listen. That's the problem. Nobody listens. Right. We're going to have a little scan of Suey while we're at it. We might as well. Look at that zone there. Rejection zone. We hold this zone. Turn it into a support zone. Not hard. Genuinely not hard. Look at this zone here. Candle was shite. Bought back up quick. Retest. Bang. 5 o'clock last Monday. 20% move in a week. You didn't even have to do out. You didn't even have to trade. Could have just chilled all week. Monday. 1 o'clock. Sunday. I'm going to go out there for now. And then we're going to alter it. I'm going to go down in the smaller time frame. Let's have a little look. 12 o'clock. Holding the point of control as of now. Last week's point of control. We are holding last week's point of control. The potential long in Suey. The only thing I don't like is that value area high there. Because as you can see, we've rejected it a few times. Value area lows there. Previous week's value area low. Previous week's pork. And previous week's value area high. Right there. And we're in a range at the minute. Because obviously it's just to start the session. The Monday morning session. So, you know, if we can hold this zone, there is a potential to move off from this zone. I will be watching that 4 hour candle Just like I'll be watching BTC's 4-hour candle, because that's the biggest shitcoin in the market, and that will show you the direction of 90% of coins. That's as simple as it can be. BTC runs the market. The sooner you get to know that, the better you'll be able to trade. So I'll be watching that candle. If you have a little look at that candle there, look at the two that came back. Pretty weak candles. That's just people shitting the pants and thinking, right, I need to get out. I need to get out. Because they're short-term traders. So, but look at that move there. You know, Monday, you had a retest here at 5 o'clock. 5 till what time? 5 till 5 in the morning. 12 hours. And you got a 20%er. You got that on times 10, 200%. You know, you get the gist. There's one coin that I want to look at. So anyway, Sui, before I go on to that coin, Sui, if we can hold this zone, Sui, potential move up to about 3-1. Around that zone there. So we'll keep an eye on Sui. I want to look at this coin. Hype. Right. I don't even know what that is. Let me get rid of that. Put them down. Right. Now let's have a look at hype. See how I had all these areas marked out? Up, tag, consolidation, fire through, tag, up we go, consolidation, through we go. Not hard. Genuinely not hard. I just don't understand how people are still getting wrecked in these markets. Sometimes I actually sit here and I think, Right. Last week, Sunday. Let's have a little goosey. I'm going to drop into the hourly so I can get this marked out properly. I'm not saying this is the God mode of trading, because it's not. It's just I've got levels that I mark out from these zones. Look, a massive high volume node here. That's telling you on that high volume node where it potentially wants to go. So we've got last week's value area high, last week's point of control, last week's value area low. Pretty simple. No trend lines, none of that crap. Just points of interest. And, you know, I'll keep saying it, this is not the God mode of trading. It's not. But what it is it's giving you areas of interest where you potentially want to take a trade. Okay? That's what it's giving you. So this week's, where we are at the minute, that's your developing pot now for this week. Okay? So we've got a potential of coming down into here, holding, and then firing. Okay? Fall into there. Potential touch of this zone, potential touch of that zone. We reject that zone and then move back down into here. Easy. So I will watch these levels now. That's all I'm going to do now, is watch them levels. And then I'll go on to the daily. So I know I've got my previous week's value areas there. They're my value areas. of the previous weeks. This here, big rejection zone. Not hard. Big rejection zone here in hype. There's your rejection zone. Don't trade here. You don't need to trade there. You're trading in the middle of a lot of crap. Zone here. What have we got here? Potential support zone. Oh look, Saturday support zone. From Saturday, when it came back in at that zone and closed, it retested and closed again inside the zone, and bang, 20% move. And then you're all out here doing this. It makes me laugh. You're all out here. Oh, there's a trend line there, and there's a trend line there, and there's a trend line there, and then there's a parallel channel there, and then there's this here, and then there's a circle there, and then there's a circle there, and then there's a dot there, and a dot there, and then there's a nose there, and then there's a mouth there. Honestly, absolute sausages. Just give it a rest, man. Just have levels of interest marked out. You need to mark every single level of interest out. You know, you've got a zone there and a zone there. Pretty simple, innit? Pretty simple. Got the move from here all the way up to there. When was that? April again. Most of these dino coins aren't even moving. Look at that. 384% in one move. Personally, if it were me, you don't have to listen to me. I really care if you listen to me or not. I'm just trying to give you, you know, certain areas of interest. Look how it came down into here. Took them lows out there where people held and didn't take profit because they're all sausages, yeah? Came down, took them out, and then fired off. And now they're all thinking, oh, God, what did I do? Why did I do that? Because you're a sausage. Because you keep listening to all these muppets that ain't got a clue what they're doing. That's what's happening. Keep listening to the absolute morons that just keep shilling their bags, and you're sat holding their bags. And they will wait until it drops back down in these lower zones. They'll accumulate again, and then you'll be sat holding all that crap from up here. Because you ain't got a clue what you're doing. So we're going to have a little look at Dino Coin now. NIA. So look at NIA compared to hype. April. Yeah? April. NIA had a move in April of 80 odd %. Now, compare hype, where hype is now, to NIA. Hype's up here, and NIA's down here. Well, that rhymed as well. So just have a little look at that. These dino coins, nobody's interested. Even if this is a good project, which it is, they don't care. They're not interested. They don't give a shit about it. And look at the move hype had compared to NIA move. You know, you wanted to cash out your NIA round this zone. That's your cash out zone in NIA. As of now, I don't know. It just looks like crap. $2 one. They're not interested in this. Genuinely, they're not interested in stuff like this. They're all interested in memes and crap like that. And that's what's ruined the market. Memes have absolutely ruined this market. Mark my words. Meme coins have killed the crypto market. So if I were you, I wouldn't even look at any altcoins. I would just be buying BTC. Do not even look at this shite, because nobody's interested. Look at this coin here. We'll have a little look. Banana S31. Yeah? Look at the shit on this. Look at it. 1 minute. I've got it marked out on here. So I give this trade in the group. Yeah? I give that trade in the group. Let me just get rid of these fixed range a minute. So that was the trade in the group I give. At this zone here. TP1, TP2. And it hit overnight. It literally shat its pants. 60% overnight. People aren't interested in good projects. They're not bothered. They want crap. They want shite. They want coins that are called banana. Because they're all idiots. And if you'd marked out this top zone here, look at this top zone here. Get a box. Top zone there. Where did it go? Where did it tag into? Oh, look at that top zone there. Whoa. Man must have a crystal ball. I've got no crystal ball. All I've got is zones of interest. That's what I'm looking at. Zones of interest. Same here. Zone of interest. Look, got bought back up, bang, bang, bang. What move did you get if you'd have bought in that zone of interest? 218% in what? 21st of June? 25th, 4 days. You made a quarter of your account in 4 days. Easy as that. Nice and easy. And then people are still trying to buy this bag of crap. I don't know any other coins that I really want to look at the minute. Because if I'm being honest, this market at the minute is a bit shafted. So let's have a little look at ETH BTC and then I'm out of here. Look at that crystal ball. That was my prediction on ETH BTC. It's doing exactly that. It's rejecting that zone. Coming out, probably tag this zone. Maybe a fire through there. And a push off. But it's in a massive downtrend. And if we just have a little look at that there. And have a little look at this here. What can you see that looks very, very similar? Looks very similar, doesn't it? So that's what you need to look at. And now somebody's drilling outside, so I'm glad that I'm going now. Absolute sausage. Right. I'm going to get out of here. That's my prediction on the market this week. Come back, like I say, write in the comment section. Tell me what you want to look at. I'll have a little look at it. You know, I'm here to try and help you out. I'm not like all these little shilling channels that don't want to help you out. Don't forget all my links in the description. You know the links. Told you them before. Not going through them. Like, comment, subscribe. And I will catch you in the next one. Happy trading, guys.